Things that we're going to be exploring today. We're going to look at these 6 unseen universal characters who impact your every decision. Every decision that you ever make in your life and business is somehow being driven, steered by unseen characters that are deep in our psychology, but also out there in society, and I'll explain what that means. This gives you the ability to rapidly assess your strengths and your weaknesses in any situation, and then to make a change and to see a different result. Do a different action, you're going to get a different result. It's a really effective approach to be able to deal with challenges that have been long-standing. The reason why they're long-standing is because you've probably either backed off from them or you have approached them with the same old typical way. This also is really, really important when I work with entrepreneurial teams, because they then realize the dynamics between them, that, hey, this guy's showing up as this character, I'm showing up as this character. I never realized that there are natural, typical clashes and sort of supporting ways in which those characters work. And so the team me model gives you a new understanding between left brain and right brain characters. It gives you an understanding between the dynamics and the mode of operation of power, passion, and perception. That's in the book. I can only touch on it right now. But let's start looking at who the characters are in a moment. Ultimately, it comes down to self-awareness. If we lack self-awareness, we have a big challenge as regards how we show up in any situation. If we don't realize the way we're coming over, that can be a problem. And so it's really important that we learn to do that. And the 6 characters I'm going to introduce you to are these universal, what we call archetypes, age-old characters that are recognized in every fairy tale, every myth, every classic story. There is a reason why they keep cropping up again, is because they're deep-seated in every one of us. The first of those characters is the queen, or we call the sovereign, so the guys don't feel left out. How many of you sometimes feel like a queen? Some of you feel like a queen all the time, I know. But at least sometimes there's a moment when you just feel like, that's me. And you don't actually have to try too hard when you're in the queen. You've just got that inner strength and things are going to plan and your team are just going off doing their things because you've delegated, which is what queens do. You don't see them out with their shovels, not often. That's where you get the warriors involved. Talking about the warrior is the next one. Everybody recognizes the warrior character. And there'll be times in your life that even if you are naturally more timid, there'll be some things that you still fight for. And that's where the warrior comes up with you. Sometimes you see this very mild mother, but when her kids are under threat, out comes Mama Bear. And that's very good, and that's very important, and that's the warrior. So there's no gender thing going on here. It's male or female. The sage is the next one. Now, Sherlock Holmes, not an emotion in sight with that guy, but he's thinking rationally, logically. He's looking for the evidence. He's like, show me, show me, show me, show me. And there's a time for us to be hard about the numbers and to look rationally at things and logically at things. And sometimes when we get a bit emotional about things, it's actually good to say, hold on, I can feel that thing. Let's just put that aside and just think for a minute, cool-headed reasoning. There's a place for it. I'm glad it doesn't run the world, but there's a place for it. The mystic. Now, the mystic is the dreamy sort. The dreamy type who will actually get people to think above and beyond, to give them vision and understanding. The lover is the person who connects with people. The connecting person. The person who cares not just the Romeos and Juliets of the world, but the person who cares most of all about people. And then we've got the jester. We need people to lighten up the show, don't we? Yeah, isn't that important? We can't just all be serious and somber or even just passionate. Sometimes we just got to lighten up, let our hair down, and get the jester involved. So the question here is, do we recognize in ourselves some of these characters? And what would happen if we pushed even more of that queen character, or the warrior, say, or the sage? What would happen if that was the case? So do you understand where you are strong? and where you are stuck in life. I hazard a guess that it's because you need to plug into one of these particular characters and see them move forward significantly in your life. That will cause a mighty shift. We could even say where you're strong or where you suck. Does anybody feel like they suck at something sometimes? It's just like, I tried that. I was useless. Oh, my word, that was terrible. Sometimes we do. And sometimes there are times to recognize from this character point of view who else we should delegate to. Because it's like, I don't do figures and numbers. I'm not going to run away from it. I'm still responsible, but I will give that to somebody else to do full time because for some reason, they love it. Yeah? So we've got these 6 business partners. This is how I treat them. They're my crew, even though they're all inside of me. And it's good to have people on your team who can cover certain roles and characters. But the important thing is to recognize that you actually need all of these to make any business succeed, any relationship succeed. You will naturally be stronger with some than others, but become aware of which characters are stronger and which are weaker. I'm not going to leave this up for very long, so see some of you taking pictures, that's great. The book goes in detail about these characters, but it's really important that we get an understanding of how they think, because how they think is based on their values, and their values help them to show up in the way that they do. You'll see we've got a URL. If you type that into your phone or scan it, you can get your own free archetype profile. This profile will show you the 2 strongest characters in your life. We call it your power profile. Who are the 2 strongest characters that are impacting and affecting everything that you're doing? So you can go there and get that for free. And that will give you some real insights into what you do and how you do it.